Today on Here for the Right Reasons, get those roses ready. Michelle Young's journey is officially underway. We break down the most talked about entrances.
Jack Russell Terrier guy. I get it if that's like his name, it kind of implied, but it's made me uncomfortable. All his dog puns, I didn't like it.
And who made the best first impression?
I know in the promo it's like, oh, he's an actor. But as far as night one frontrunners go, just based on history, it's got to be Nate.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly senior editor Sarah Heron. Sarah, we've made it. The Bachelorette is officially started. Michelle's journey has began, and we're going to be recapping it every single step of the way.
Yes, we made it that one very difficult week without.
How did we do it?
We certainly did. We did. And this premiere was a little different than normal. I feel like we have some thoughts.
Yeah, we definitely do. We have some thoughts. So actually, let's get right into it. Let's kick it off with our Bachelor buzzwords. What word kind of summed up last night's episode for you?
I mean, this is lame, but I just did nice because Michelle is just so nice. She seems like such a genuine human, too good for this show. We've got little kids running around. We've got like her parents as her role models who love each other. Like, I'm like, this chick is too nice for this show.
She is. She's way too nice. Yes. It seems like she had like the perfect upbringing. She has the perfect family. She has got the perfect job. She's athletic. She's beautiful. Yes. Everything about her is nice, wrapped up in a beautiful little bow. Mine was Classes in Session because they did not let us forget that Michelle is a teacher. There was a lot of puns, teacher jokes, a lot of, we got it, Classes in Session, and she's ready for this journey. But we understand she's a teacher.
But what was killing me also was like every guy who was like, my mom's a teacher. It was like, Ev, you're a teacher. You're a teacher. Like, I like teachers. Like, I have nothing against teachers. We need them. Obviously, God bless teachers. But like, everyone's mom was a teacher too. Yes. What did you think of the kids like in her class being on the show? Do you think there were some parents who like pulled their kids out and were like, no, and others that were like, you go, honey, you get in front of the camera. You
totally. It was in the back of my mind. I was like, I wonder if this is like obviously like a mock class that they made them come in over the summer and recreate this whole scene. Yes, but it's kind of awkward to talk to fifth graders about having 30 different boyfriends, and that should have been my most cringeworthy moment. Actually, now that I think about it,
it just happened in the beginning. We forget because so much other cringe happened. But no, I totally agree. Like, part of me is like, I'm that girl who was always tweeting, like, I want to know what Michelle's students would think of this. Like, I was definitely saying that during matching season when she talked about being a teacher. And now that I know, I'm like, yeah, we probably could have left the students out.
Yeah, we probably could have done without that. But I'm sure they're super excited to be watching this every single week. It's got to be pretty cool to see your teacher doing that. And she's, for the most part, as we know, she's back to work. So I'm sure they're going to be recapping it every single week in class. So that's got to be pretty cool for them.
Can't wait for Fantasy Suite Week in Minnesota.
Seriously.
All right. Did anyone stand out to you we'll get into more specifics with the guys, I assume, but with shipping overall, do you have someone who, not even front runner necessarily, but that you're rooting for?
No, is that bad to say? I don't know. I said Nate just because maybe he got the first impression rose, but even then, I don't know. Like, we see the teaser that he's causes some drama coming up. I mean, obviously, it's just could be the magic of editing, so I don't know. Maybe that's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I don't know if I'm fully behind it, but I don't know. Nobody really stood out to me that much. How about you?
Honestly, like me either. They seemed like genuinely, like, again, not like everyone was nice. Besides the few people who weren't, they all just kind of seemed like nice, but maybe I need to watch it again. Like, I didn't really get a blow away thing. I have some stuff about Nate for later, but for me, Rodney, the guy who was the apple, seemed really cute. And I liked that, the little dynamic of him, saying that he identifies as a Granny Smith when he was dressed up as a red apple and her calling him out. It was a cute, the teacher thing, like we said, it was played out, but like he did it in a way that I'm sure, they all did it. So I didn't hate his as much. And he seemed like a sweet guy. I don't know. So
he
Rodney.
Did seem like a sweet, yes. I liked Rodney. I just say it a little bit later on, but I did like Jamie. He seemed really nice too. I mean, there were some guys, but I didn't get like that. And Clayton seemed nice, who was our future bachelor. So, I mean, if
I didn't know Clayton was the bachelor, I 1,000% would have put him as my ship.
100%. I was about to write it and I'm like, why bother? Because we know that he's the bachelor, but I definitely would have picked him too.
Yeah, and like it's not even a spoiler at this point. Like Jesse Palmer is out here posting pictures with Clayton. Like this is insane. Like this is ridiculous. We can't pretend.
Right, and they're twins, so
yeah, so true.
All right, let's move on to our line of the night, because obviously first episode of the season always gives us some good one-liners. Where did yours go to?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like a line in a good way, but it just stuck out to me when Ryan, who we will get to, said that my milkshake brings all the Michelles to the yard. I was like, what?
Oh my God. What? And like, it's like a 10-year-old reference. Like, get out.
Get out. What about you?
Mine also, like, probably not a good thing, but Chris said, you might give me an A, but I might give you a D. I was like, oh, you could take that so many different ways.
Yeah, you could. There was also, I think it was Ryan again who made the line about like plowing the lawn or whatever. And I was like, oh, so Caitlin Bristow inspired there, but this guy's never seen The Bachelor. Okay.
Right. Never seen The Bachelor. Come on. Well, that kind of brings us into our thirstiest moment of the night. So let's talk about Ryan. So what do we think about this whole playbook? Do we think that the producer set this up? Did he really bring these notes? I don't know.
Wow. What a loaded question.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I really don't know. And obviously Caitlin and Tayshia, this whole like, let's search their room thing. I assume they didn't do this, with Katie's guys. We've never seen Chris Harrison do this. So convenient that this is the first year that they start searching their rooms and then they find something, right? So that's obviously like red flag number one. Red flag number two is, it's just insane. Like who would write these notes? I mean, like especially if you zoom in on them, like I took screenshots and like the first one was like Jason Tardik, not your classic Bachelorette contestant. And then it's like Blake Horstman, runner up, like kind of random people. But then my only thing with it is when Ryan was confronted about it, it's not like he denied, like unless he, obviously the producers would have told him about it, but he did kind of a bad job denying it. Yeah. I don't know.
He was like, yeah, my friends wrote it. It was more like, my dream woman, things like that. Somebody had to have known about it for them to have Tayshia and Caitlin go in and search these guys' rooms. So somebody was either tipped off about it or maybe producers were asking questions and he kind of let it slip. I don't know.
Yeah, Ryan definitely told the producers about these notes. Like maybe even as a joke, like the producer that was spending time with him or whatever, and was like, look at what my friend did for me because I've never watched this show. And then the producer was always like, well, obviously we're going to bring these out as soon as we can. Like that maybe is more realistically what happened. But if so, what a moron for bringing the notes.
Right. And the fact that he didn't really understand why she wanted to send him home after all this. She's like, I'm not starting a relationship with all of these red flags. And he's like, can I make it up to you? No, I just met you 5 minutes ago. Please leave.
Right. Like even if you were just taking notes because like you were nervous, like it just doesn't make sense. Like it's way too specific on like the villain and like the phrases. So I don't know who wrote these notes. I think I believe that maybe Ryan's friend really did write them and then he showed the producers. It's just a matter of whether he was in on Michelle finding them because they were like, you'll have your moment, get out. Or if like he didn't know they were going to use them against him. Because another element about this is on a very quick search on Ryan's Instagram, you find out that last February 2020, he was on Bachelor Live on Stage, that like tour they did. Like he was the guy that was the Bachelor on the Live on Stage. Yes. So what is he talking about? He just never seen The Bachelor.
Right. You've never watched The Bachelor yet. You went to their live shows. Come on, give me a break. Like don't lie about it. Like, and like whoever did those notes certainly did their research though, because there was a lot.
But you know what was so funny is there are like very old references. Like there are references to Ben Higgins. I mentioned Jason and Blake. Like it wasn't like anything about, Matt James, which was the season Michelle was on. Maybe that was just what they showed us. But I was like, deep cuts by this analysis.
Seriously, yeah. Well, at least their friend watched the show. So, but I highly doubt we'll ever hear Ryan's name ever again since he was, goodbye. We don't need to even waste any more time about that. So let's move on to our cringeworthy moment of the night because, always with the first night, we have some interesting arrivals. And last night we sure had quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of cringe. A lot of it was Ryan, but since we need to move on, I'm going to give it to the Jack Russell Terrier guy. I get it if that's like his name, it kind of implied, but it's made me uncomfortable. All his dog puns, I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either. And it's like, what were his parents thinking naming him Jack Russell?
I don't know. I did not like him. What about you?
I thought the firefighter moment between Daniel and PJ, like obviously he comes in this little toy fire truck and this other guy comes in on this gigantic fire truck. Not really totally cringe, but but kind of a funny moment.
And it's cringe just because the producers like were doing it on purpose.
Yeah. Yes. And then like all the teacher references and all things like that. It was just like a little over the top.
Yeah. It was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. All right. What's going on next?
Okay, front runner. So again, kind of tough, kind of goes along with who we were shifting with, but I put Nate as my front runner simply because he was the first one out of the limo. He got the first impression rose. This is a theme with Bachelorettes. And she had a little bit of a Claire moment which like a more normal Claire moment, not like that's my husband, but like they showed a lot of her reactions and she said a lot of things about a few different guys, but the Nate was very much like, oh, I'm going to remember him. She was like, that was a good start. I like him. Like she was definitely kind of throwing stuff out there. I think she said, Jamie, I'll remember that was more specifically what she said about. Yeah. But either way, it was like okay, they're giving us a little insight into Michelle clearly likes him. I know in the promo, it's like, oh, he's an actor. But as far as night one frontrunners go, just based on history, it's gotta be Nate.
Yeah. Yeah. You make a good point. Always first one out of the limo is in Bachelorette history. It always works. I mean, Jordan Rogers was first one out of the limo. He got first impression rose. And I think Brian got first impression rose on Rachel's season. So usually the first impression rose guys go very far in, at least according to Bachelorette history. Mine went to Jamie, who I mentioned before. She said that he had a lot of swag. He just seemed like a really nice guy, kind of down to earth. And it seemed like they had a really good conversation. And I liked him. I got a really good vibe from him off the top.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
but we have the same person we want to send home.
We do.
Which is this was the other big moment, and it's kind of like a weird one, but the Joe of it all.
Yes. It felt a little weird. Like she was very, very upset that he ghosted her after. So she, remembered him. They were talking through DM and things like that, and then he just stopped responding to her. I felt like she not overreacted a little bit, but like, I don't know. I didn't think it was that serious.
See, I kind of disagree because
really?
I mean, I don't think he committed a crime or anything. Yeah. It was interesting. He definitely got deep and they had like a nice moment when they were talking about why he stopped reaching out to her and everything that was happening in the world. And that was nice, but she clearly, like, it bothered her that he ghosted her. And like, I don't blame her. Like being ghosted sucks.
Yeah, it does.
And there's all these guys that didn't ghost her waiting to talk to her. And it is such an interesting thing of like, oh, is he here because I'm the Bachelorette? Like he could have had me months ago. He could have, like, I was clearly interested in him, but then there's another part of her who still is interested in him. So I think it's actually an interesting dynamic and kind of a relatable one, because if I were her, I would be pissed that he ghosted me too.
Totally.
But like, she's cute. He's cute. And she like has a connection with him. And I think she's just thrown off that he's there. Like she clearly, I don't believe she knew, like she definitely. But my other thing that I think about him, that was the biggest red flag, in addition to being a ghoster, which we've all done it, whatever. But he didn't think she would know.
Right. That's the thing. Like how, and also like, how did producers know to cast him? Like, did they know that he ghosted her? Like, I'm very confused by like whoever did like their investigative journalism in that regard. Way to go, because she definitely did look surprised. So
in his intro, he was like, I can't wait to meet her, which
that was a little shady on his part.
Yeah. And he walked in with he said, he was like overwhelmed when he had the conversation with her about it. Like, what was your plan here? Yeah. So maybe the producers, like they follow each other on Instagram or something. And that's like, they were hoping there was a connection there, but they didn't dig into it, or they knew the whole time and he didn't know that they were going to have it happen first night. There's something we don't know there, because the whole thing played out very strange. Very strange.
But based on trailer and teasers coming up, it seems like they go out on some dates together that, I think he was spotted. You see in the trailer that they go to like a baseball game together. They share a kiss. So obviously he maybe gets pretty far, but yes, I guess she is taking a chance on whether or not he is here for the right reasons. Are you just here because she's the Bachelorette, or are you really, interested in a relationship? So we'll have to wait and see.
And the guys, it's interesting because in the trailer, like it's the guys seem to find out a little later, unless maybe those are clips that are from next week. But like maybe she doesn't confront it. Like a lot of times they might say like, oh, this guy, no, but he's staying or whatever. It seems like she's going to let it play out, which is interesting because the guys are going to obviously take that personally, like they do.
Yes. Oh, well, a lot to unpack in the first episode.
It definitely set some foundation. I think I like Michelle as a person. I think she's beautiful and awesome. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I need her on this show. I think she's too good for it.
I do. I think I totally agree with you. I think she's too good. I do. I think she's too good for it. And I really hope that she doesn't get her heart broken. I mean, she's too nice to like go through this again.
I know. I'm going to be very sad if this doesn't work out for her. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't know. This was a weird premiere. I feel like not much happened, but then we just spent 20 minutes talking about it. So I guess
Totally. But like you said, we're going to be recapping it every single step of the way. I know that you have a Bachelor Nation favorite on the podcast this week.
Alexis Waters, dolphin shark herself. She's going to help me try to figure out, some of this Bachelor craziness and what really goes down on night one. If she, even though I know she's pretty tipsy, her night one back in the day, but she's going to help me break down Michelle's season this week.
Definitely one of the most memorable night one entrances of all time. All right, Sarah, thank you for running down all things Bachelor with me as always.
See you next week, Christine.
All right. Yes. For much more on The Bachelorette, head on over to smagazine.com. Check back here every single Wednesday. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and keep listening to Sarah's podcast here for the right reasons. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.